Stock or equity compensation is one of the most lucrative ways to reach millionaire or billionaire status, and a lot of companies these days are making stock compensation a huge part of their compensation plans. So if you are trying to better understand a potential job offer that you're getting, this is the video for you. And make sure to share this with a friend, because a lot of companies these days, especially startups and tech companies, are really starting to shift their compensation package and mix to include a lot more stock. This is so they can attract the best talent at all levels. So everyone needs to understand how they're going to get paid and how stock and equity work. Just a quick reminder to like and subscribe to this channel for more weekly free career content and advice. So first, let's talk about the two different types of companies that would potentially be offering you stock or equity. The first is a pre-IPO company, or what some people call startups, and the second are publicly traded companies where anyone in the general public can buy their stock, not just employees. If you're going to go work for a pre-IPO company or a startup, they're most likely going to be giving you stock options. Now, if you're going to go work for a publicly traded company, they're probably going to give you restricted stock units, or RSUs. If you're given a stock option gives you the option to buy a share of stock from that company for a certain price. That price is what we call the strike price. On the other hand, if a company gives you a RSU, they're basically giving you stocks of the company for free. Now, I know I just threw out a lot of vocabulary words at you, so I'm going to walk you through an example to help explain everything. Let's say a startup gives you stock options with a strike price of $10. That means when the company goes public, you'll be able to buy one stock from them for $10. So how to make money with stock options is if the stock is worth more than $10, because you can buy it for $10 and then sell it for the higher value. It's just like you're buying their stock on sale. Now, the risk with stock options is if your strike price is actually higher than what the stock is worth. So in this scenario, let's say the company goes public, but their stock is only worth $5 and your strike price is $10. So you wouldn't want to buy a stock at $10 when it's only worth $5. So unfortunately, in this scenario, your stock option would be worthless. On the other hand, if you have an RSU, that means you will basically own one stock and you can sell it whenever you want. So between the two, an RSU is typically safer because it always has value, unless the company goes bankrupt or fails. Now, some pre-IPO companies may give you RSUs instead of options, but remember, they have no value unless the company goes public. Okay, now that you know the two different ways you can get paid in equity, I'm going to explain other important terms that you need to know when it comes down to evaluating and understanding your stock compensation in your offer. The first term is vesting cliff. This basically means how long you need to wait and work at that company before the company starts to give you any of the stock options or RSUs that they promised you. The shorter the vesting cliff, the better, because that means you get your stock options or your RSUs sooner, and that means you could sell them or use the options if the stock price goes up. Now, keep in mind, most companies have a vesting cliff of 1 year. The next really important term is the vesting schedule. The vesting schedule determines how often and how much stock or options you are given in a certain period. Once you pass the vesting cliff, that's when your vesting schedule becomes important and really matters. Every company has different policies around their vesting schedule, and it's very important to understand if you want to fairly evaluate and compare two different offers from two different companies, because you really need to understand your cash flow. Monthly vesting is typically going to be the best, and you want to vest all of your equity as soon as possible, so you don't want to wait until the end of the 4th year. Another important term to know is equity refresh grant. You should ask if the company normally gives equity refresh grants. This is basically when the company will give you additional restricted stock units or stock options in addition to your new hire grant. Knowing if the company even gives these or how often that they are given should be a very important factor for you when you're evaluating all offers. Another important term is Employee Stock Purchase Plan, or ESPP. This is a great benefit at publicly traded companies because that means that you can buy more stock from them at a discount just because you are an employee. There's almost always a limit to how much stock you can buy every single year, but this is definitely an awesome benefit. Now, the last term that you need to know only applies to pre-IPO companies, and that is called a repurchase option. Now, these are very rare and usually only offered by late-stage startups. A repurchase option gives you, as the employee, the option to sell back any vested stock options that you've already earned back to the company for a certain dollar amount. This is typically a really good benefit because it allows you as the employee to capture some value if you want to leave the company, or if you're worried that the company may not even go public at all and you just want to get some money before you leave. Alright, so those are all of the really important terms that you need to know and understand when you're evaluating your equity package or your stock package. Hopefully you found this video to be helpful. Drop a like if you did, and make sure to subscribe down below for more weekly free career content. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.